folks, how we doing? Let me get up here first of all. Okay. So I wanted to do a video where I am reviewing the big show that I was at Wednesday night in Moncton. So there's a couple things here that I wanted to kind of just sort of talk about and discuss. The good, the ugly, the ugly, and then the show itself. I want to talk about just the different things that I felt the whole night. I'll say it's very difficult when you're a diabetic and you need to remember to bring snacks and make sure you bring your sugar tester and all that crap, because I completely forgot to do that when I got to the show, but that's okay. I actually felt pretty good. So first of all, right off the bat, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers who have been sort of paying attention. Some of you have, some of you haven't. That's okay. Things are happening in the works now. I'm just about ready to get my Jackson fully modified. I've got pickups in there right now. I have to flip one of them because for some dumb reason we decided to install the bridge one wrong. It's fine, it works, it's just I gotta turn it around. I have a new nut for it, Graphtec Tuss nut. So that'll be getting installed as well. And also I have some Geiger locking tuners. So that's good. That's all good on that front. And then it's going to be wood shedding like a motherfucker for some things. The other side of things is the show. I managed to reconnect with a dear old friend of mine. We didn't get a chance to talk much of the show, but we acknowledged each other's presence. Realized we were only sitting about 8 rows separate from us. It was nice. It was one of those, you know, when you're walking by at a show and you just like, hey man, what's going on? How are you? We stopped talking about 5-6 years ago. Sure, you can imagine why. I've always had respect for the guy. Just dumb shit. And so he and I started talking. The old guitar player in Beyond Eternal. I didn't get a chance to see him, but I saw where he was sitting, and we had a brief chit chat the following day. So we had a good time, sort of reconnecting, as it were, which is nice because I like both of those dudes, and I think that I think it's always good to reconnect. Of course, I'm trying to get my ass out of the friggin' house because, I've been kind of living like a hermit, as most of you know. Okay. The ugly, and this is not necessarily an ugly like this is a different ugly, and this is what I've never understood about security. A friend of mine who just happens to be the main promoter and show booker at a place called the Panic Room here in St. John, where I live, his arm was broken by a couple of fucking meathead security guys. The main man who runs said shadow security is a former or a current local MMA guy in Moncton. So you can just tell how this guy's massive, okay? He's like 6'4", 6'5", grabs a hold of him, manhandles him, breaks his arm, okay? And Jay can be a little hyped up some days, but he's legitimately like a big old docile cat. He's a good man, he's a strong man, but he's kind of a softy of sorts. Like he likes people and shit, but Jay wouldn't hurt a flea. It would never be his intention. One of his dearest friends, Caitlin Smith, she went to the gig, and she's no more than 110, 15 pounds. And they threw her like a rag doll because she said that she was with him. She was with Jason. Security people need to realize that when you are at a metal show, and this is also part of the venue too, if the venue doesn't want moshing, don't book these bands. Or if you do book the bands, have seats. Don't have a place for them. Don't have a place to mosh. You're there to see Exodus, Anthrax, and Megadeth. What do you think's going to happen? Absolute mayhem. Now, were the pits insane to the point of like big festivals? No, but there were pits the whole fucking show. I saw one security guard grab the dude literally by the throat and basically threw him to the ground. It's like, what are we doing here, people? I sincerely hope he actually goes ahead and sues them. He may not, because he may think that, well, it's more of a hassle, but if he gets pissed off, he should sue. I whole 100% agree. If you are going to allow people to mosh and crowd surf, let them do it. But make sure that the kids make sure if a security guard's there, grab them, bring them down gently, make sure they don't fall on their head, and then say, okay, man, get back up and hop back in. But if venues up here are just going to completely say, no, there's no moshing, well, then there's no bands that are going to come here, and that's going to suck. So security guards, learn to go to a metal show before you ever decide to be security for them. Because I'll tell you, there was very small mosh pits at the Clutch show, and there was never an issue. Okay? Yeah, I get it. Exodus and Anthrax and Megadeth are much faster, much more violent than Clutch. But really, this is a normal thing. Settle down. So yeah, I hope both of them sue. I wholeheartedly agree that it should happen. Now, let's talk about the show itself. Exodus, Anthrax, Megadeth, in that order. Now, I have made a few videos in the last little while where I've sort of said some shit about Dave and the new record. There will be no negativity here. I mean, I'll point out a couple things that I did notice, but no negativity. So, Roy, co-vocalist and guitar player in Beyond Eternal, and I went. We sat in section 115 at the Avenir Center in Moncton, and now this is about an hour and a half from where I live, so that was fun. That was cool. So Exodus come up first. Right from the first note, everything was awesome. Everything was perfect. They come out. Rob Dukes has rejoined the band. He sounded as good as he does on record at this point than when he was with the band beforehand. He sounds just fucking perfect. The guitars sounded pretty decently. I mean, obviously when you go to a live show, it's not going to be as crisp or as clear as you would like it, but from what I heard, everything sounded good. The drums were great, the bass sounded, everything in the mix was good. I don't remember all of the sets. I do remember Exodus because they've kept the set list the same. I should have wrote these down in theory, but fuck it. So Exodus started off with 33111. Then they did Bonded by Blood. And then they did Blacklist, which was awesome. And then they did The Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Improves, Toxic Waltz, Strike of the Beast. The moment that they did Toxic Waltz, people went nuts. And the moment that they played Strike of the Beast, I think that was the moment where I'm like, I'm soaked. I'm saturated. I'm a big fan of Exodus. You guys know this. I'm a big fan of Gary Holt. I think everything that Gary Holt ever does is pretty much gold, except for that nonsensical record called Force of Habit. The riffs were okay, but it's still Force of Habit. The one thing I did notice throughout the whole show, in between each band, the switchovers were rather long. I mean, I know it's a big production, and I know you got to do things, but 20 to 25 minutes in between sets is a little bit long. Mind you, I guess as a musician, I'm usually used to 15 minutes. Usually at the max, just grab your shit and get off a stage. But I suppose it is where it's bigger bands, and I know some of the people are like, no, you're kind of nitpicking. Well, no, I mean, it makes sense. And we did lose out on 2 songs off the Megadeth set list because of a stupid curfew in Moncton. You have to honestly, I think if the stage sets were a lot, if they got the shit off the stage quicker, then I think we might have got those songs. So that's okay. Exodus absolutely killed it. Perfect. Gary was awesome. Lee Altus was just ripping leads and just ripping riffs. Jack Gibson was just ferocious on bass. You could hear almost every note. Between him and Gary doing backup vocals, I killed it. And Tom Hunting is and you'll notice that each band that I talk about, there's nothing but flowers for these guys. It's so hard to rank who is better because they're all really fucking killed it, every damn one of them. So we have Anthrax come up next, and Anthrax absolutely slayed it. Before I get too deep into the Anthrax side of things, I did want to mention that Rob said it's time to do the Toxic Waltz, and they played like a couple of bars of Rain and Blood, like and then go, you big teasy bastards and shit. So then they played Toxic Waltz, and everybody had a good time. Anthrax come out to an absolute rager. They absolutely killed. I can't remember the order exactly, but I know they played AIR, they played Got the Time, Caught in a Mosh, I Am the Law, Fight Till You Can't, Metal Thrashing Mad, Indians was last, and I think there was one more, and I can't remember right off the bat. But it was good. It was awesome, actually. They actually, I can't remember what song it was, but they teased Judas Priest the Ripper, and they played. I'm like, wait, that sounds like Priest. And then Joey goes, "You're in for a surprise. You're in for a shocker." And as soon as he hit that high note, I said, "Man, there's guys that can hit high notes, and there's guys that can just do some vile things. Joey is absolutely one of them. These guys are all in their like late 50s. No, they're all in their 60s by now." And Joey hitting the notes that he was hitting in the high notes, just, I don't know, man. He's just such a killer vocalist. There's nothing wrong with that dude whatsoever. Frank was on point. Charlie was playing drums, and he absolutely fucking killed it. It was so nice to see Anthrax with Charlie. And I say that because I've seen them before, but they had John Deddy on drums because I think there was a family emergency or something with Charlie at that point. Obviously, John Dene's been with Anthrax since 2014, so 12 years now. He's been on a record or two. They did, however, tease a new song, and it sounds like, how do I put this without, it's really groovy. It's almost like it had that sort of New Orleans sort of down Corrosion of Conformity, like NOLA kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Like, but they only played like 30 seconds of it. I was like, you bastards. So just teasy bastards. And then they went into Indians. Yeah, and Scott Ian was just fantastic. But he didn't do his little friggin' war dance thing, and I was quite sad because That's kind of what I was hoping for Scott to do his little hoppy Indian dance thing. Fucking guy. Guitar tones were stellar. Bass was mixed perfectly. The vocals were right there. The drums were... Everything was mixed perfectly, and that's the thing. And then another 20... What seemed like another 20, 25 minutes or more of set changeover. I didn't really leave my seat. I didn't leave that at all. Because I'm like, you know what? If I start going to the bathroom, I'm going to be going every so often. I can't miss anything. So... We finally get Megadeth. And there's a white curtain that's there, and just as the band comes out, you could see, from where we were, we could see Dirk kind of coming in behind. And I did get a shirt, by the way. I will probably, I'll probably end up wearing it in another video anyways, because I do know that I want to get into a couple other videos that I have in mind. So all you see is the lights go out. There's lights that come up in front of the stage. And all you see is like silhouettes of James, Timu Montessori, and Dave. And obviously you can tell Dave because it's fucking patented. He's leaned over and he's like, the hair's in his face and he's got that pose and he's got his Gibsons or whatever. And a little bit of noise, and then the fucking curtain drops. They go right into tipping point. I'm going to say this, and some people are going to think I'm like, okay, now you're going back on your word. I still think Dave needs to shut the fuck up about Metallica. I think he still needs to just stop about that. The new record, it's a record. It's not bad. It's just not great. But live, they did Tipping Point. They did I Don't Care. They did Let There Be Shred, and they sound much better live than they do on record. I will say that with absolute certainty. Obviously, we got the other stuff. We got Peace Elves, we got Symphony of Destruction, we got Countdown to Extinction, we got Tornado of Souls, we got Poison Was the Cure, Dread and the Fugitive Mind, which was nice. I was very, as soon as they went dan, I was like, oh yes. I was sad because I really wanted to see Angry again, but because of the curfew, we didn't get that. And I was like, damn it. I was really looking forward to seeing that, but really, the guitar sounded awesome. The drums sounded awesome. Dirk's like the happiest drummer on the planet. And James Lomenzo, he was just, everything was good. There was a few moments where you could obviously tell that Dave was struggling a little bit. He was really quiet. Like, it was not as boisterous as I had expected. But there were moments where he would be like, yeah, he would do, that snarl that he hits, and it's like that long note. It was awesome. It was really, really good. Performance-wise, nothing wrong. What I did really appreciate is that Dave had this ability, and I don't remember seeing him do this in 2010. He might have, and it may have slipped my mind. But if Timu was going to do a solo, Dave would go to the back, let Timu have the glory, and then they would swap out. And then, especially with James Lomenzo, they would move him out. They also played Trust, which was kind of nice. I'm like, and Dave actually did a really great job on that vocally. Everything was actually really surprisingly well. Like I said, Dave's in his 60s. He's like 62 or 63. There were moments where his vocals were just a little quiet, but that's okay. The man's just got over cancer. And of course, with Holy Wars, it sounded great. There wasn't much for me to say that was bad. At all. It's so weird. But, again, because I expected the guitarist and the bass and the rest of the music to sound great, it was awesome. There was not really a bad moment to be had at the show. T-shirts were kind of expensive. They were $70. They had Megadeth and Anthrax and Exodus jerseys. They were about $175. it's kind of the going rate if you're going to see some big bands, like especially up here. Like I think they go for about 40 or 50 down in the US. I'm not sure what they're going for over in the UK. So if anybody who's watching this from the UK, if you want to comment and say, just kind of state what you've paid, then that's cool. That's fun. Let's get a conversation going. Best band of the night for me is Exodus. But if you were to fucking put them on a plateau, like you're looking at about here, and then like here, they're all really, they were all on point. I was just happier with Exodus. Anthrax, though, man, if you get the chance to go see those dudes live, go see them. I am not kidding you. They were absolutely killer. Scott Ian's that band has still got it. And I think this new record, that when they put out this new record, it's going to be just as good as the new Exodus record. I love the two songs from Exodus. It just, whatever Rob Dukes has, he really makes that band a lot more violent. If Megadeth can keep up what they did live in Moncton, because they've been pretty much doing it the whole show, or the whole Canadian part of the tour. And the Canadian part of the tour at the moment is over. Of course, Gary was pissed because he had to run and catch his flight in Newark. But, such is life. What I will say about this Megadeth tour is... And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I do know that when Dave had that issue with his hand from rehab when he slapped on it wrong, I presume it was one of these kind of things, or it was kind of like sloped down. I really don't know. All I know is that he slept wrong on it, and he kind of ruined a few nerves. So with that, this is why he's kind of calling out the retirement, because he knows his hand's probably not good. If he continues on the path that he's going in terms of how good these shows have been lately, if you can go see them, go see them. I know I say shit about Dave all the time, but when it comes right down to it, I think what Dave has given Canada, especially, I love how we started the tour too, right? I hope that his hand can hold up, because for the fans, I think they deserve to see Dave go out on a high note. I'm not worried about the record so much. Like I said, the record's the record, and the fans are gonna like it. It is number one. It did go number one, so congratulations, Dave. Your final record is your number one. Frankly, there's other records that are probably number one in most people's eyes, anyways. Yeah, not a bad thing to say about this at all. Very, very, very impressed with that show. Everything was great except for the security. Fuck the security, 110%. Yeah, man. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to the new Exodus record in full. That should be coming out, I think, March 13th. No, not next week. 20th. March 20th. So not next week, but the following week. I'm just waiting with bated breath on that. Because if my guitar journey takes it where it's going to be, like I said, I'm still going to be focused on, like, there's going to be some Doom stuff coming out of me. Not a whole lot. I think that might just be a me thing. Maybe I'll probably get my bass player from Beyond Eternal involved, because he's a Doom guy himself. Gary's probably going to be Gary and Scotty are probably going to be into my stuff, because I'm tuning the Jackson up to E flat. And, yeah, so it should be good. Life's going good. Life's going great. I can't wait to get this Jackson modified, like I said at the start of the video. I hope everybody has stayed to watch this whole thing. If you have, I appreciate that very much. Nothing wrong with that show, man. Megadeth actually really did a great job. And Timu Montessori is probably one of the best guitar players Dave's ever had. Obviously he's had Chris Poland, and he's had, Jeff Young, and he's had, obviously Marty. We all love Marty. You know, I think it's Glenn Drover, Chris Broderick. I saw them in 2010 with Chris Broderick, but man, I don't know, man. I think Timu's as close to Marty as Dave's gonna get. And he's just, man, it was a great time. I enjoyed every fucking minute of it, and I know, and I say this as a big guy, big Dave sort of non-believer when it comes, not musically, just when it comes to him opening his stupid trap. So, anyways, guys, thank you guys ever so much for watching. I hope you guys have been able to watch the whole video. I really, really do appreciate it. I want to say thank you once again for getting this channel to 500 subscribers. I really do have to start making more videos. I think pretty soon here too, what I think I'm going to do for my channel, because I'm moving into more of a guitar thing. I think what I want to do is I think I'm going to, one of these times at jam, at rehearsal, I'm going to do a full rig rundown with the boys. I'm just going to set my phone up some way, somehow, and I'm just going to film, and I'm just going to kind of get the boys to go through their rigs and kind of talk about it. And yeah. So anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, I love you all, and I'll see you soon.